Do I need to file my operating agreement with my state? My name is Andrew Ayers. I'm a business law and estate planning attorney with offices in Edina, Minnesota and New York City. Today, let's look at a really common question I get. You've gone through all the process of setting up your business, you've filed with the state, and then you've come to that agreement, your operating agreement, your shareholders agreement, and you're not sure what's next. Do I have to file this with the state too? I can't seem to find that button on the website. So as I said in the intro, once you've put your business together, you're probably left with a stack of documents and you're not sure what to do next. So you got things started, you created a name, probably a website, and you've come to the point where you're filing documents with your local state. You're usually going to file in the state where you live, although sometimes you may be filing in other states as well, maybe even just a foreign authorization or a doing business as in another state. So as you file all these documents, a lot of times you'll come to your internal agreement, your operating agreement, your shareholders agreement, and this document is the main agreement. It's kind of the lifeblood of your organization. It says who the owners are. It says what happens if there's disputes, what kind of tax status are we going to select, what happens if a member dies, is there a right to purchase their interest. There's a lot of things that go into your operating agreement. And once you've got it all put together and you've got everything signed, a lot of clients will come to me and say, okay, Andrew, we've got everything put together. What do we do next? Where do we file this? And the simple answer is when you're putting together your company and you're working on your legal documents, there's two categories of documents. The first set are things that you're going to create for your business that are going to stay internal to you. You don't have to file them with the state. The second type are going to be the external documents. These are the documents that are going to be filed with your state, and in most cases will be public record so that people searching for your business online will be able to see the information that you're filing. So first, let's look at documents we don't have to file with the state. And the first one, as we've been talking about, is your operating agreement. This document is going to be internal to your company, meaning you don't file it anywhere. You can make any changes you'd like to make. These are not filings that have to find their way to the state. And the reason is we want companies to be able to manage their internal affairs without having to publish all this information. If you could imagine all of the competitive intelligence that a competitor could get, or anybody who wants to do the same business as you could get by just reviewing these kind of filings, you'd see why you don't want that publicly available online. The government would be giving anybody access to the internal business workings, and think about all the great companies or the huge companies in the world that are trying to protect how they operate their business. So your operating agreement does not have to be filed with your state. Also, you may be creating corporate resolutions, another document that you don't necessarily have to file with your state. So in this case, let's say your business is going to look for a new banking relationship. You're going to move to Chase Bank. Now, when you go to Chase to open up that bank account, they're going to first want an EIN, the tax ID number for your business, but many times they'll also want a corporate resolution that says the owners of this business are agreeing that Chase will be the bank that is used by the business. Those corporate resolutions have to be prepared, they have to be signed, and they're often submitted to the bank, but they don't have to be filed with your state. So if we have a bunch of documents we don't have to file, what are the documents we do have to file? So documents you have to file are, first of all, the very first document you file, usually your articles of organization, articles of clearance, articles of certification. Depending upon the state you're in, the first filing is usually in articles of some type, and that is telling the state that this business is being filed and here's the name of it. You also have to file annual registrations in many states. Now the question is, do you also have to pay a fee or not? And some states have biannual registrations where you pay every other year. But any kind of annual registration statement, that will be filed with your state. Sometimes you also have to submit an annual report, whether it's to the taxing authorities or whether just to your division of corporations. And those annual reports are usually filed with the state as well. And in some states those are public, and in others they are not public. It depends upon the nature of the report that's being filed. And finally, if your business has run its course and it's time to dissolve the company, those dissolution papers, they do need to be filed with the state. There's a formal process for going through it so that creditors can understand that this company is being dissolved, and if they have any claims, any rights that they believe they have against your assets, they can make their claims as a creditor. So when you're looking at your documents and trying to figure out what to file with the state or not, you can either try to do all this research yourself, but I have to warn you, some of the websites out there are a little less easy to read than some others. And so you may not know, do you have to file this or not have to file it? Which is why you can also work with an attorney. So when you work with one of us, you'll find that we know what the documents are and what's going to be filed and what does not have to be filed. We can prepare an operating agreement on a certain timeline because we know that you've filed the right paperwork to get your business started, but we don't need to worry about a filing deadline for that operating agreement, which is often where it may take some time for you and your partners to work out the specifics of how your business is going to work. So you don't have to go this alone. This is not a DIY kind of thing. We can help you make sure that you understand what's fileable, what's not fileable, and what are your responsibilities going forward as a business owner. If you have more questions, you can go to my website, andrewmayers.com. There's a red legal strategy session button on the front page. You can click that and you'll be taken to my scheduling page where we can pick a time that's convenient for us to hop on a phone call. Usually 15 or 20 minutes. It's free, and we could talk about where your business is in the process and go through your documents so you can understand what needs to be filed and what doesn't need to be filed. If you'd like this video, you can hit the like or the thumbs up button below. You can subscribe on YouTube or go to ayerslawtv.com. And just remember that not every document for your business has to be filed, and there's a lot of documents you wouldn't want to be made public, so you want to understand what has to be filed and what doesn't have to be filed.